Hello and welcome to this week's Positive Recovery with Corinna, being made for www.sobertownpodcast.com and my YouTube channel Positive Recovery with Corinna. And I'm coming from you on location again. Not quite as exciting this week though. I'm sat in a car park in my car outside a Cherry Lane garden centre. Oh, the joys that I have in life. But I've got my jar with me, so I'm just going to unscrew the lid and take out one of the new ones, which is alcohol and dating. And the comments are scared to be seen for yourself, that we might be boring without the booze, and that we romanticise our alcohol, especially champagne, when we want to share. Okay, well, I haven't really done alcohol I have done alcohol and dating all my life. All of my relationships actually have been based on alcohol. Every single one of them until now. Until 2 years ago when I got sober. But actually the fella, my Andy that I'm with now, we were big drinkers. When we lived together in Lincolnshire years ago, we were huge drinkers. In fact, that was probably the height of my drinking career. So yeah, most of our relationship then was based on drinking, and then we split up and we got back together 2 years ago, and he wasn't a very heavy drinker then, but I sunk a couple of bottles of wine, so I'd have that romanticising about sharing that bottle of wine, but I'd drink most of it and fall asleep. So I got very boring with the booze when we were around second time, so that wasn't great. And then Andy got leukemia again and had to start chemo, so he can't drink. So I've kind of been lucky in that I haven't had someone drinking heavily or had to make new relationships in my sobriety. But I can totally get how scary that would be, and I know of people that have. I have been loud and proud sober from the minute I became sober. I mean, I had many trial runs, as we all do, of like, right, that's it, I'm never drinking again, right, I'm not drinking again, do it for a week and then get straight back on it. Because we have that addict voice, don't we, that will be telling us, oh, you're boring, oh, this is really quiet, oh, this is dragging on, oh, I don't know what to say. Have a drink and loosen up and it will all be okay. And I don't know about you, but I used to always have pre-drinks as well. Pre-drinks were my thing of going out anywhere, whether I was dating or not. It was always pre-drinks. I had to have wine whilst I was getting ready and get ready to go out. So yeah, how to do dating now? This is a really tricky one for me, but I guess what I can say is that in not drinking generally, life is far from boring, and I am far from boring. And actually I bumped into someone recently, actually one of Andy's friends, and she said to me, well, I'm really pleased for you, Corinna, I'm really pleased of what you've achieved, your sobriety, but I have to say this, you were a fucking hysterical drunk. You were so funny when you were drinking. And my thoughts to myself were, well, actually, I'm pretty funny when I'm not, but people don't know that. So, scared to be seen for ourselves is what has been written here. And yeah, it can be scary, can't it? Because for many of us, we drink. We drink because we don't like ourselves. We drink to block what we are. We drink to block what we perceive or who we perceive ourselves to be. But actually when we get sober, for the very first time probably for many of us, we actually start to like ourselves. We actually start to see that we are nice people. Once we remove the alcohol and all the altered thinking and all the stuff that goes with it, we are actually lovely people and we are beautiful just the way we are. We really are. We're genuine. We can be genuine. We can be authentic. And when we get further on in our sobriety and we learn to walk hand in hand with little us and teenager us and in the 20s us, then things become far more beautiful. So I guess my take would be on this is don't do sober dating until you've learnt to love you. Because you will. You will walk hand in hand with you. And once you are confident in your own sobriety and confident in yourself, because you will become confident, you will become authentic. And authenticity, literally translated, means author of your own life. And that's a great thing to be. And, you know, to be able to write your own script and to be sober and to be happy being sober and not fall into that social thing of like, you know, alcohol is the only drug we have to make an excuse not to drink. But it's fine. It is a good excuse. I don't want to be boring. I don't want to fall into that slurred talk or falling into relationships that probably I wouldn't usually fall into or wouldn't fall into now that I'm sober. But in the past I would. We get, you know, we drink away. The thing is, when we're scared to be ourselves, and if we're drinking when we're dating, we're not actually seeing the other person for who they truly are they? Because we're numbing ourselves to that. What's that? You know, that old saying that people get better looking the more we drink. You know, you got your beer goggles on, because they do. Because we drink away the warts and all. We don't see the horrible bits of them. We see the nice bits of them, and we start to have confidence. So we think in ourselves. But actually, once we become authentic and sober, it's much better because we're doing things for us and we're seeing the things in the other person as well. We're not blocking it all. And one of my favourite things that I read or heard in my sobriety was Brené Brown, and it was about belonging. And she said belonging is about being yourself, your true self, and not trying to change for others. And that was huge for me. Huge, because actually, if people can't take us for who we are, then are they really worth any passage in our life or any time in our life? I spent so many years trying to fit in, trying to belong, and in that I've not belonged to myself. I've let other people drive my bus. You know, the bus. I might read a bit from my book actually on the bus, because it kind of fits in here, doesn't it? That this whole dating thing, this whole alcohol, be scared for being seen for ourselves. I've actually got my bus here because I was about to do a blog. I've got my bus, I've got my book here. Let me have a quick little flick through and find BUMOPQRSTU. Right, bus. I should know it off by heart, but here we go. Who's driving yours? Does this idea sound weird? This metaphor really resonated with me during ACT, which is acceptance and commitment therapy. Imagine our life being a bus and we are the driver. The passengers on the bus are people, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, etc. that we collect in our journey through life and can influence our direction of travel. But one of the profound realisations that I had was that I wasn't driving my bus. Other people were. And because of this, I drank. I made more of a conscious effort to take back the wheel, but it was half-hearted until I quit drinking. Now my hands are firmly on the wheel. Others may try to stop me and even eject me from my seat, but I'm heading in my own direction now and choosing my own route. Who's in control of your bus? Remember, it's only us who can allow others into our driving seat. And as I read that now, I'm thinking, well, actually, do you know what? Alcohol's driving my bus too. I hadn't thought of it like that before now. So when we're talking about the other bit in this alcohol and dating, the person's written romanticising the champagne share. Wow, society and alcohol and romance were driving my bus too. And the reality is that, yeah, do you know what? It might be quite nice to share a bottle of champagne or share a bottle of wine. That's the romanticising of one of us. But what we do then is, it's not just that. You know, yes, it would be nice to share a bottle of drink. But why not share a bottle of alcohol-free drink? Because what actually is romantic about sitting there, drinking our neurons away, drinking away our memory, because that's what we do. It is an anaesthetic. So alcohol is an anaesthetic. It affects one of the hormones in our brain that are responsible for filing our memories away. And that's why we can get blackout and not remember things, because it's actually it's having a biological effect on our brain. And anaesthetics are actually there. You know, anaesthetic, even when we have an anaesthetic surgery, it doesn't actually put us asleep. It actually just stops us remembering what's happening. That's why some people who don't get enough anaesthetic can remember their surgery. And if you share a bottle of champagne, if you're lucky enough, you might be able to remember some of your date. But drink enough and you're not going to. And if we play it forwards, that is the key thing in my book, is playing it forwards. That's what I've always done. That's my most important toolbox is, oh, wouldn't it be nice to share a bottle of champagne? And then I want more. And then I'll keep drinking. And then I'll black out. And then I'll probably say foolish things. And then I won't remember what I've said. And then I'll probably be texting the day afterwards, apologising or saying whatever. Or I might actually get myself in a really dicey situation because we make ourselves very vulnerable when we drink. Who knows? Who knows who that date is with? Would I put myself in that situation if I was sober? Probably not. Or am I just going to fall asleep on the bathroom floor, having vomited everywhere, waking up the next day with a massive headache, feeling like shit, wiping out 2 days and saying to myself, never again, until the next time. So, or should I just share a drink, an alcohol-free drink, or just have my soft drink and say, chin chin, and remember absolutely everything from that date? Make a sound judgment as to whether I like that person or not, and whether they're really for me, and get to see their true self, especially if they're drinking. How fun would that be? Actually, that wouldn't be boring. That would be so fun, wouldn't it? To sit there on a date and watch somebody else get drunk and show their drunk self while I'm sitting there sober, and then decide, well, actually, I don't want to go out with somebody that drinks because you're talking bollocks. I don't actually like you. So, sober dating, I've worn my sobriety on my sleeve from the beginning. It's not for everybody. I completely know that. But if you're new in the dating field, then hey, you get to pick. You get to pick to go out with drinkers or non-drinkers, don't you? Yeah, that would be on my dating profile. Non-drinker, alcohol-free, sober, looking for somebody who does not drink, who does not smoke, who's got a good sense of humour, who doesn't need booze to numb themselves for a date. So put it out there if you can. Put it out there. Only date sober people. And look at it as a joy, as an event, as something exciting. Because actually there are a lot of people who are in relationships who've got sober and are still with their partner and have to watch them drinking. And all we can be is a lighthouse, isn't it? That's all we can actually be, is that lighthouse, which I love. So I'm going to have to just read that again, aren't I, as well? I don't plan to always have my book here. It just happened to be here. Because I'm off some nice pampering with my son's girlfriend. And I thought I'd give her my book as a treat. This is my new tip. I'm tipping everyone with my book. Okay, so lighthouse, find yours, and hopefully you will become one too. So think of this on your sober day. You be sober, and if they're a drinker, this is what you can be. Consider a lighthouse. It stands on the shore with its beckoning light, guiding ships safely into the harbour. The lighthouse can't uproot itself, wade out into the water, grab the ship by the stern and say, "Listen, you fool, if you stay on this path you will break up on the rocks." No, the ship has some responsibility for its own destiny. It can choose to be guided by the light in the lighthouse, or it can go its own way. The lighthouse is not responsible for the ship's decisions. All it can do is be the best lighthouse it knows how to be. And that was by Randy Krager and Paul T. Mason from Stop Walking on Eggshells, which was a book in 1998. But the quote is obviously from my book, The A to Z of Alcohol and Sobriety, Everything You Need to Know. And I haven't got about sober dating in there, but hopefully this podcast has covered it. I hope it's helped. I hope you have a great week. Remember, not another drop, no matter what. And I'll see you again real soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.